Good to see everyone. It's kind of like turning back the clock a little bit to have all of us in the same room here. Ted was a friend. Ted was a lot of things, obviously, but Ted was a friend. I remember when he first came to Hunter Station from the congregation that closed over near Maxwell, and he was just a Christian like the rest of us. But he soon became a leader. He was a song leader, as you can tell from the pictures. He loved music, and he led us in some strange songs. Strange songs. You know, we called them new songs, but he reminded us pretty often that they were not new songs. Look at the date. These things have been around since 1800. And so they're old songs, but they were new songs to a lot of us. And but you couldn't help but appreciate the fact that he wasn't just singing Rock of Ages all the time. And so he was a leader. He was not only a song leader, he was a leader in the congregation. He really pushed Hunter Station to appoint the first elders. I don't know if we'd ever have elders today if he hadn't pushed so hard while we were all there. And so he was. I've always given him credit for the fact that Al and Bo and Glenn were appointed as the first elders there a couple of years back. He was a, we mentioned he was a candy man. He sold candy, which people, obviously kids would love to see him come, but then he became the tax man. That's a big contrast, And, so the tax man cometh. And I did talk to him once because I'd heard stories from people that I know who said that when the tax guy got there, they would put him in a corner somewhere in the dark room. Poor lighting, and, you don't have to furnish a great place for him to operate. So I said, did that ever happen to you? And he said, yeah, that's happened to him. So, it wasn't exactly always as good as I think Don might have said that was good. But there was another side to that. But Ted was a great encourager. It was pointed out yesterday so many times that he was an encourager. He wanted the best for people. He became involved in the Adventures in Christian Living with Paul T. And a lot of us, are what we are today because of those kinds of classes and encouragement from people like him and Paul T. He would jump up on that Coke crate. For those of you who are ever involved in that, there was a Coke crate. I don't even know if they make Coke crates anymore. I don't think you can find those. But at any rate, he would jump up on that and talk about, how he felt great, And he loved Paul T. And he loved to talk about Paul T's sermons. And he said Paul T. obviously had a problem with soap operas, is what he called them. Soap operas, because he talked about them all the time. He preached about them all the time. And so I love to hear him call them soap operas. That was one of his favorite things. But Ted, for those of you who don't know, was very, very instrumental in this congregation being in this building. Had he not been a fundraiser like he was also treasurer there, but he was at Hunter Station and Hunter Hills. But he had some friends who were willing to put some money in this building and finance the operation, which probably accounted for almost half of the money that we needed to get going up here. It was very significant, and
the spirit
he was very, very instrumental in us being here. I'm not sure that we would be here if it hadn't been for his connections there, if you will. But he was a great person. He was not only a deacon, a treasurer, a song leader. He was a shepherd. He became a shepherd at Hunter Station, Hunter Hills, and he helped lead Hunter Hills through some of the darkest times in Hunter Station that we had. It was a very difficult time, and yet we had several. As one of the shepherds myself, we spent most of our time studying and praying what can you do, what can't you do, and then praying about it. That's what we did. We finally decided that maybe it wasn't the shepherd's job to keep up with, where we needed to place a nail. That maybe it was someone else's job, and so we finally got the trustees to take responsibility for the building, and I guess we still do that here. So trustees do all the building projects, and the shepherds try to shepherd the flock, which is what I think should happen, and Ted was very instrumental in that. But he had a great attitude. Just, his prayerful spirit, his faithfulness helped us through that period of time. He wasn't a big man on the outside, but he's very big on the inside. He was not a negative person, he was a positive person. He was not dynamic, he was determined. He was not a discourager, he was an encourager. And he was not perfect, but he was persistent. And, isn't that what the scripture says? If we are faithful into the end, we'll have a crown of life, and I know that's what he's got today. He's got a crown of life. I don't know exactly if we all understand what heaven is really like. But I know that there's singing there. And I don't know if there are any Coke crates there, but if there were, I think you'd be saying, boy, do I feel great today, And, but I can assure you that he's singing there today, and that he's singing a new song, the real new song. It was great to know Ted, and we'll miss him, but